welcome back. Albert here. Today, we will be talking about Tar-Vanimeldë, the 16th ruler of Númenor, the third and last ruling queen of Númenor. Sit back and relax. This is a short one, but very interesting. Vanimelde was born in 2277 of the Second Age, and was the only child of Tar-Telemmaitë. Vanimelde's name meant beautiful beloved. There is no information about her youth, but if you have listened to my previous videos, you would know by now the King's Men, a movement supported by past rulers, was thriving on Númenor. The reach of the Númenoreans had expanded quite significantly across Middle-earth, stretching very deep into the south and most coastal areas. Her father, Tar-Telemmaitë, was obsessed with gaining wealth and power, and Vanimelde was indeed the one to reap from his efforts. I imagine she was very enraptured by the treasures her father brought to the island, especially in the form of mithril, which I spoke a lot about in my last video. At some stage before she took up the scepter, she married a lord called Herucalmo. His name meant Lord of Light. He was of noble descent himself. Now you may be wondering who he was descended from. If you remember during my video on Tar-Telemmaitë, the 13th ruler of Númenor, he had two children. One was Herucalmo, who you know as the 14th ruler of Númenor, and the other one had no name, lost perhaps after the Great Fall. But this nameless child would marry and have children of their own, and would eventually lead to the birth of Herucalmo in 2286 SA, which would make Vanimelde a relation to him. Vanimelde's father finally died in 2526 SA, holding on to the scepter down to his dying breath, and based on the changed traditions of succession, she was declared ruler of Númenor, Tar-Vanimeldë. In a twist, Tar-Vanimeldë displayed very quickly she had no interest in the practicalities of government, preferring music and dancing instead. She passed the day-to-day affairs of the state to her husband Herucalmo, oddly enough a very similar tactic of the second ruling queen of Númenor, Tar-Telemmaitë, who gave the main responsibilities of state to her nephew Minister. Together Tar-Vanimeldë and Herucalmo had one child, Karen. Tar-Vanimeldë would die in 2637 SA at the age of 360, ruling for 111 years. Normally this would be followed by the ascension of the Prince Heir or Princess Heir, but this was not the case. Unfortunately, in a cruel twist, Herucalmo refused to give up his position of head of state. Instead, Herucalmo, though having no legal claim to the throne, took the name of Tar-Telemmaitë, a name that meant Light of the West, and declared himself as king, effectively pushing aside the Prince Heir, his son, the rightful ruler of Númenor, something that would truly break Ascension tradition for the first time. This is something I will get into in my next video. In respect of Tar-Vanimeldë, or Party Queen of Númenor, which I have nicknamed her, I can't say I am very impressed by her, but saying that, she was a true reflection of the Númenor of this time, so I can't fault her for that. Hence my very selective picture in my last video when displaying her as the daughter of Tar-Telemmaitë. I felt this picture represented the festive nature of her character. Now, I can't fully blame her for turning out the way she did. Her father was an awful role model. His lust for wealth, and especially mithril, would not have taught her how to rule at all. And when he died, she inherited an unreal amount of wealth and power, especially at a stage when the havens of Númenor were thriving and the defense against Sauron was so strong. That's it, my friends. I hope you liked that. If you did, please feel free to subscribe, comment and like. And as always, may the light of Eärendil guide your way.